Are you looking to add wireless Apple CarPlay and Android Auto to your older car without having to pay someone to install an aftermarket head unit? Simple Car Guy here, and today we are checking out this 7-inch Carpuride unit that can be installed in any car in less than 5 minutes and instantly modernize it at the same time. Taking a look at the box gives us an idea of what some of the features are and what to expect. This unit has a 7-inch IPS touchscreen display and allows music playback via Bluetooth, USB, microSD card, and of course CarPlay or Android Auto, which can be wired or wireless. While wired, it will also charge your phone at 2.1 amps. Inside, we have the unit itself, a suction cup bracket, 3.5mm audio cable, power cable, a bracket that uses an adhesive, reversing camera, some extras, and of course the manual. The manual goes into great details on how to set it up and how to use it, so do read through it if it's your first unit like this. Alright, now let's take a closer look at the device itself and see what it offers. As you can see, it has a fairly reflective screen, so we'll see how it does in the sun. We have a few buttons here on the left, so that will help us control it once we install it in the car. In the corner here we have the microphone hole, so we can use the built-in microphone for making phone calls. On the left side here we have a few different ports, so we have the microphone port, so you can add an additional port and have it used that way. So instead of using the built-in one, you have a microSD card. We have camera in, so this is for the reverse camera. We also have AV out, USB, as well as 5 volts. On the back here, this is where the bracket's gonna connect to the device in order to install it in the car, and we have a built-in speaker. We also have a light sensor, so the screen can be dimmed automatically if you like. And on top here, we have a little reset hole and a power button. Alright, looks pretty good, so let's go ahead and get this installed in the car and check out all of its functions. This entire device is powered by the cigarette lighter, and it can intake power between 10 and 36 volts, so that's really nice. And the output is up to 3 amps. So I'm just gonna plug it into my car right here. We have a power socket in my BMW i3 right there, plugged in, and then this USB Type-C is getting plugged in into the actual device on the side here. Alright, so let's start from the very beginning. There are a couple of different ways to get this unit installed. You can use one of these brackets with an adhesive. They include 2 different pads and stick it basically anywhere on the dash. Or you can do what I did and just attach it using one of these suction cups if you have a flat surface like this. It also includes a little bit of adhesive on the bottom, but it's not very sticky, but it helps you hold it in place. This is also meant to go on the glass, so you can put it on the glass and have it hanging from the windshield. I chose to do it this way just because it's easier to show on camera and we're not have to look up and further away from me. But anyway, let's plug it in and see how long it takes to turn on, and then what the rest of the process is like to get it set up. As you can see, it only took a few seconds for it to fully boot up, and now you have the main menu. Here there are a few different things that we can do. Of course, we have the Apple CarPlay and the Android Auto, which I will show you once I connect the phone. You also have AirPlay, so you can completely copy the screen of your iPhone and display it on this display, which is pretty cool. You have auto link, you have the equalizer and the Bluetooth options. You can play media from USB. You also have the FM transmission, so you can transmit the audio from this device, basically from your Android Auto or CarPlay, to an FM station and then basically listen to it through your car. That's why you can use this device on, well, basically any vehicle that's been made since probably like 60s or 70s. If it has an FM radio, you can use this. So that's pretty cool. But first, let's go through the settings and see what we can find in here. We can change the language. We can go to any of these languages. So if that's important to you, here you have it. You also have the key color. So these are the colors here on the left. So it gives you a little bit of a design if you want to keep it kind of a different color. We can make it green, for example. You also have the choice of using the device speaker, so the one that's in the back, or playing everything through either one of these cables or through the FM station. We also can switch to the right-hand drive, and of course we can restore it to the factory settings. On this side we have Android wired link, so this is what you use, either a auto or auto link, so that's up to you. And for the iPhone you have 2 different options as well. So these are basically the apps that are used, and that's up to you to select which one you want to use. And then here we have a few different things for backing up the camera. We can mirror the camera, so depending if you install it this way or upside down. We also have the park line, so this will show you when you're backing up to see where the car is, whether it is between the lines or not. But anyway, let's go back home and actually connect the phone to see how it works. So there are a few different ways to connect your phone to this device, but the easiest way to connect it wirelessly, at least the way that I found, is by just going to this wireless CarPlay icon, and then it's telling you to look for this Bluetooth ID. So we're going to go to Bluetooth on the phone. There it is. It shows up. Going to click on that. Wait for it to do its thing. All right. I'm going to hit pair and allow sync. And now it says it's connected. Yes, use CarPlay. And that's it. And we're done. So from turning this on to having my phone using CarPlay took about, what, like 3 minutes? So yeah, this works really, really well and really fast, which I do like a lot. But now let's see how well the screen works and how responsive it is, because that is important. So going between the screens is pretty smooth. Of course, you have your messages and music and maps, so you can open that up. I'm gonna have to block it, but yeah, so the maps work really well. You can go back to the main menu. You can switch the screens just like you would in any other wireless CarPlay that you have in any other car that's built in or however you're using it. But yeah, you can see everything right there and it just works. And of course, if you want to go back to the main screen, you're just going to click on Car Home and it takes you to the main screen. Once on the main screen, how do we actually play this to the car? Well, first of all, you don't have to play it to the car. You can just play it to the device itself. So if you go back here and we go to music, so as you can see, we're just playing the radio station directly from the speaker on the back. I'm going to stop that before we get any content matches. But yeah, so that works. But what else can we do? Well, of course, we can just use one of these cables and plug it into the auxiliary port. That's very easy to do and something that you probably should use if you're going to set this up permanently. But you can also set up a way to where it will broadcast to the radio station on your car. So let's do that now. We're going to go back to Car Home. We're going to go to FM transmission. Now we're going to go to 108, but I want to adjust it to 107.7, just like that. Make sure it's turned on. As you can see, my car is also at 107.7. And now we're going to go back home. Go to CarPlay, and of course, you can, once you set it up once, it can just be like that forever. And we're gonna go to whatever the station is and play some audio or basically music or your phone calls, whatever, through the car. And there you go, now it's going through the car. So just like that. I'm gonna turn it down once again so we don't get any content matches. But yeah, it's also playing, as you notice, through the speaker in the back, and we can turn that off if you don't like it. So we can go to settings, go to device speaker and turn that off. And now, oops, if you go back and play that same music. Okay, now I'm gonna turn the volume up on the car. It's only playing on the car and not through the speaker. So a lot of cool options, but obviously the best thing is that this is wireless CarPlay. I also really like that this is very compact. I've reviewed the 9-inch of this device and it's awesome. It works really well. But one negative about that device is it is much bigger. Even though it's only 2 inches, it's much bigger and feels much bigger in the car. So if you want something smaller, or if your windscreen is not that large, or if you don't have a lot of space in the car, this would be perfect for that. You can also install a camera, which can be used for backing up. To learn how to actually configure this, because it is a little bit more complicated, go to the previous video or the video on my BMW Z4 where I actually showed how to install this, how to connect it to the reverse light and everything else, if you want to use it as a backup camera. Pretty cool that they include this, and a very useful feature. So in conclusion, I think this is a pretty cool device for a lot of people that might not have the most modern car, or maybe the car didn't come with Android Auto or wireless CarPlay. So yeah, this is a pretty cool to modernize your vehicle. It also gives you 3 different output options, which is very nice. So whatever your car may be, it will work with it. If at the very least, it will play through the little speaker on the back of the unit. But of course, best way is to just use an auxiliary cable that will give you the best audio quality. The FM station also works really well, and the audio actually sounds pretty good. You can also do voice control here. So having this little icon right here, this will give you voice control. So now we're controlling Siri. So you can talk to this thing without having to take your hands off the wheel too much. Obviously, you can also make phone calls. So you can go to your keypad and, make a phone call and everything else, and the audio will come through whatever device that you have selected. The microphone that this unit will use is going to be the one here at the bottom, or if you want, you can buy an additional microphone that can be installed for maybe slightly better audio quality. The screen also looks pretty good. They say it's IPS. I'm not really sure if it's an IPS because the blacks are not the darkest that I've ever seen, but yeah, it definitely looks good. It does have a little bit of reflection, but it looks good to the naked eye. And of course, it will dim depending on how light or dark it is outside. Of course, if you want, you can go back in here and adjust it manually. So you can go to the very brightest or a little bit less bright, depending on what you want, or set it to auto, and it will use the sensor on the back, as you can see, to do the brightness for you. You also have the equalizer if you like playing with those settings, so you can adjust, different frequency to make it sound exactly how you want it to sound. But that's basically all I have to say about this device. It works well, it's easy to use, super easy to set up. It's actually inexpensive for what it is, and I really do like the size for smaller cars or those that don't have that much space on the dash. It also turns on with the car, so when you turn the car off, it turns off. When you turn the car on, it turns on, so that's very easy to use and convenient. The phone will auto-connect as long as you set up your phone that way for CarPlay, and most of them are set up like that by the default, so that works well. But anyway, if you have any questions, leave those down below, and I'll be happy to answer them. And if you like to see this device's big brother, the Carpuride 9-inch one, check out this video to see what that's like. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.